words. So, grab your Bible, and then first of all, as I say, it's going to be a very, very quick test. Go to 1 Timothy 3:16.
Oh, I get it. He versus God. I wonder who he... Although I hope to come to you soon, I am writing you these instructions so that if I'm delayed, you will know how people ought to conduct themselves in God's household, which is the church of the living God, the pillar of the foundation, beyond all question. The mystery from which the true godliness springs is great. He... I'm assuming that would be God, since that's the only person talking about. He appeared in the flesh and was vindicated by the Spirit, was seen by angels, was preached among the nations, was believed on, and the world was taken up in glory. But since one witness is not enough, let's check another chapter in the Bible. John 1, 1-5. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:14. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. Word became flesh. Word was God. Okay. So it looks like Jesus came in the flesh.
A Bible, preferably the one that you read the most, or it doesn't really matter, you can pick any of them up. I'm going to use the King James Bible, the Authorized King James Bible. So, 1 Timothy 3:16 says, and read it with yours that you use, and without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. God was manifest in the flesh, justified in the Spirit, seen of angels, preached unto the Gentiles, believed on in the world, received up into glory. What does your Bible say? Does it say God was manifest in the flesh?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I'm going to tell you why this is important. Now go to 1 John 4:3.
This is how you can recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, but every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming, and even now is in the world. Okay.
1 John 4:3 says, and every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God, and this is the spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already it is in the world. If you've got anything other than God was manifest in the flesh, in 1 Timothy 3:16, you've got an Antichrist Bible.
Let's see. Theophobic. This has an interesting article in 1 Timothy 3:16. Albert Commentary God. Probably there is no passage in the New Testament which has excited so much discussion among critics as this, and none in reference to which it is so difficult to determine the true reading. It is the only one, it is believed, in which the microscope has been employed to determine the lines of the letters used in a manuscript, and after all that has been done to ascertain the exact truth regarded to it, still the question remains undecided. It is not the object of these notes to enter into the examination of questions of this nature. A full investigation may be found in the Weston. The question which has excited so much controversy is whether the original Greek word was theos, or whether it was hos, or who. The controversy, which has turned to a considerable degree on the reading in the Codex Alexandrinus, and a remark or two on the method in which the manuscripts in the New Testament were written will show the true nature of the controversy. Greek manuscripts were formerly written entirely in capital letters and without breaks or intervals between the words and without accents. See a full description of the methods of writing the New Testament in an article by Professor Stewart in Dr. Robinson's Bibliotheca Sakara number 2, page 254. The small cursive Greek letters which are now used were not commonly employed in transcribing the New Testament, if at all, until the 9th or 10th centuries. It was a common thing to abridge or contrast tack the word in the manuscript. Thus would be used for Pater Father. The words thus contracted were designated by a faint line or dash over them. In this place, therefore, if the original unical capitals were standing for, and the line were obliterated from any case, it would easily be mistaken for. To ascertain which of these is the true reading has been the great question, and it is with reference to that the microscope has been resorted to in examination of the Alexandria manuscripts. It is now generally admitted that the faint line over the word has been added by some later hand, though not improbably by one who found that the line was nearly obliterated and who meant merely to restore it. Whether the letter O was originally written with a line within it makes the reading God, it is now said to be impossible to determine. In consequences of the manuscript at this place having become so much worn by frequent examination, the Vulgate and the Syriac read it who or which. The Vulgate is great is the sacrament of piety which was manifested in the flesh. The Syriac great is the mystery of godliness which is manifested in the flesh. The probability in regard to the correct reading here, as it seems to me, is that the word as originally written was. At the same time, however, the evidence is not so plain that it can be properly used in an argument, but the passage is not necessary to prove the doctrine which is affirmed on the suspicion that that is the correct reading. The same truth is abundantly taught elsewhere. Regardless if the correct reading is He or God, the Scriptures teach that Jesus is God and that He was manifested on this earth. 1 John 1, 1 through 4. Hi, Ted, John, Brian, Wendy.